I think now, even before we start, I want to know watu wa Kajiado. Watu wa Kajiado, mko hapa? Bas. Nataka tuzungumzane. Mheshimiwa. You want changing now that it is very important to join a political party. We are having a hashtag running on called to participate, meaning there is no any other way in which youths can be involved and realize change without them participating. And they can only participate in joining political parties. And therefore, we will start. We are having a well-endowed young panelist here whom will introduce themselves, and therefore immediately will start running. But even before that, you can log into your Twitter handles and start tweeting about the Kenya we want. And of course, it's happening right here in Kajiado. Thank you very much. And therefore, to my panelists, I'm very glad that you made time to attend this honorable event. It means that you are having passion for the youth. And therefore, I will give you 1 minute each to introduce yourself there, and thereafter we will kickstart immediately. I will start from the right side of myself.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Wesley Jeff. I'm a lawyer, and also I am in a political party. Mona watu wa chama yangu hapa. And I do policy and strategy for the Youth League at DCP. So this is a conversation I'm very interested in. Kwetu tunapenda kusikiza watu. So that's what I do. And also I train on leadership and governance on a day-to-day basis.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eunice Wanjangoi. I'm a journalist. I report on climate, intergovernmental issues, and also policies. I'm also part of the SDSN Youth Kenya as part of the Youth Action Group. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gideon Toimasi from Kajiado County. I am a political scientist, and I am running some community empowerment programs using a grassroots organization by the name Oloip Center for a Livable Future. And yeah, so I think I'm glad to be here.
Hi, my name is Sophie Mogorenji here. I'm currently serving as the Youth League Chair for the People's Renaissance Movement Party. It's one of the newest parties in Kenya. We are party number 93.
Oh, wonderful.
Na chama yetu ni ya youth, so mnaweza kuja mjoin chama yetu. People's Renaissance Movement Party. PM Party. Yes, and I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. We can clap for our panelists before we start. And indeed, there is a well-endowed panelist, members of the panel, whom, from the information I'm getting, they are all in political parties. And that is a wonderful message. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation here today is on three dimensions. Number one is on what is the Kenya we want to see, right? And how do we realize that Kenya we want? And what is the role of political parties in delivering that Kenya we want? I will start from the very far end, my good friend from PM Party. And I understand that you joined a political party of your choice, and you've said that that political party is for the youth. First of all, I would want to know why you joined a political party. And even before that, in your lens of future and in your lens of vision, what is the Kenya you want? What is the Kenya youth want to see? Yes.
I'll start by answering the last part of the question.
Yes.
What is the Kenya that the young people want to see? I think we have achieved several liberations up until now. We are able to have freedom of speech, of movement, of worship, access to information, courtesy of our constitution. But there is one thing that is missing. We don't have money in our pockets as young people. the future that we were promised tukiwa shule, tukisoma, tukitransnight, tukienda sijui benchmarking, tukienda science congress, tulikuwa tunaambia ukisoma upate A, everything, like the future that we want is just there. But the system has put us at the edge such that no matter how educated you are, how party economic freedom. So as the reason why I joined the political party that I joined is because of their ideological standing. People Renaissance movement believes in birthing a new nation and delivering economic freedom to our country. That is our generational mission. All the other liberations have been done, but this last one, the final one, is economic liberation. Renaissance means rebirth, bringing out something new. So as young people, we want to see a new country where merit exists, where there is level playing field of people not dependent on your tribe or who you know. We want to see a country where there is accountability, where there is free health, free education, where people are not suffering, equality and equity reigns, and there is respect to life, and people are living dignified lives.
Oh, wonderful. So you're simply telling us that the Kenya we want is the Kenya that should have a, a, a larger majority of people. Pesa inafaa ikuwe mfukoni.
Exactly. And
so
I
on the
took
economic liberation.
Article 38
Okay.
into my hands and said they have a right to
Mm.
join a political party.
Wonderful.
So I actually did that.
That is the Kenya you want.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gideon, our good sister just said that the Kenya she wants is a Kenya that has proper economic liberation, where pesa iko mfukoni ya watu, and that where the freedom is not as much as limited. You are a leader here in Kajiado. You know the interests of people in Kajiado. You've been a member of youths here in Kajiado, and you even analyze politics. What is the Kenya you want? Even having at the back of your mind the people of Kajiado. Yes.
Well, the Kenya I want is a balanced Kenya, where every voice matters, where leaders are accountable and the citizens are responsible. So that is the Kenya I want, to be brave.
That is the Kenya you want. And so what do you mean accountable? When you say accountability, what do you mean? Someone somewhere. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So someone somewhere who anataka tu pesa mfukoni does not want anything to do with accountability. What do you tell this person?
Accountability.
So what does accountability has to do with my sister over there who wants only pesa mfukoni?
Well, we elect a leadership that is charged with the responsibility of providing essential services to us, and of course, leading the country in saying that we prosper as a country. So that is the responsibility they are charged with. Now, we must demand accountability from them, because right from the policies, from the budget making processes, from the stewardship generally about what they hold for us, because I believe that we elect leaders who hold the positions in trust of the public. So we demand accountability, because we cannot run a country without accountability, because there are resources that they control, there are budgets that they make, and they influence decisions or maybe what we do as individuals. Even the very common mwananchi depends on the accountability of the leaders. And we must see that every one of us, right from that, the bottom rock of everything, right from the very least of the populations, we must hold these leaders to account. And that is the reason for which we mean that it is essential that we all think about accountability, because social accountability is needed for them to be put into check.
So,
Yes.
so you are telling us that it is because leaders have not been accountable. That is the reason why we've not realized the Kenya we want. Wonderful.
Yes.
So my sister here, as you answer the Kenya we want, do you think that women and young women leaders have joined political parties? Because it is very clear that there is no any other way in this Kenya today that somebody can get into power without the vehicle of a political party. And it is that vehicle that makes somebody have decisions and even influence the decisions in the country, and most likely for women. We've had a question of total gender rule, even up to late. There was a case, in the High Court where the court has advised the government to dismiss the cabinet because of total gender rule. So it is a question. Way back, the Chief Justice wrote to the president to dismantle the National Assembly because of total gender rule. So you realize that for these decisions to even dismantle and dismiss such kind, they come from the bedrock of a political party. And it is decisions that are affecting women. So what do you tell the women by you responding to what is that Kenya you want in lieu of that? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That's a very beautiful question, because that aligns with exactly what we champion for. And the Kenya I want is a peaceful Kenya, and a Kenya that is inclusive. What I mean is that we as young people, we need to be in a country that we are peaceful in mind. We have jobs, we have the opportunities, the economic stability is going to be okay. And also it's going to favor each and every person, despite you, the way from where you come from or whatever you do. The Kenya I want a peaceful Kenya, because once you're very, you're empowered as a young person, as a young woman, you can be able to drive the economic of this country, and also you can be able to move forward and do a lot of, activities that you can do as a young person. So answering to your question about the young women to be part of the political space and all that, it's, first of all, I'm gonna be very, happy to say that it's good to see such women and young women coming on board to even take up the mantle to be the chairperson, like my sister here, and also most of the political women whom we can see, like Millie Odhiambo, whom we really call like the bad girl. It's not really a bad girl, but it needs to be with us. We need to start, we as the young women, because I believe when we're going to be given the space, we're gonna make it, we can make that change that we want. We don't want to be like in that society that women are not supposed to be in the leadership, women are not supposed to be in these spaces, or even like, in the leadership, in the political parties and everything. And through that, you can be able to ensure that we have closed the gap for the inclusivity, and also for being included at the table, and also leading as the young people. Thank you.
Wonderful. The conversation is coming up clearly, and that we are realizing that still there's a lot of hell-bent responsibility to the leaders that we elect. And Mr. Wesley, now we've elected leaders, because now the conversation has traveled all along. Now the government is operational. There is political parties, youths already have joined political parties, some have not, but they still lack of this Kenya we want. What will you say? What is this Kenya we want with already information on the ground? Youths have been preached for that they should join political parties. What will you advise? And how would you advise youths that once they have joined political parties, how do they therefore influence that decision so that they realize the Kenya they want?
So thank you for that question. The way I see it first is the kind of Kenya we want, in my opinion, is a Kenya one that every person at every level of the society, one uses common sense. Because if you think about why people went to the streets, they were talking about transparency, accountability, and good governance. And in a functional society, those are things that should come with common sense. When you look at chapter 6 of the Constitution about ethics and what it is to be a leader, those are things that should be common sense. And every time that people push back against the government, it is always about what government should be doing.
Yes.
It's never about things that are being picked from the air. It's always simple things. Don't misuse our money. Do not show us government largesse.
Yes.
And things of that nature. So my advice to young people when it comes to political parties, myself, aside from everything else that I do on a professional space, I am also socially a storyteller.
Yes.
And I like telling stories. And when I first wanted to join a political party, I remember the thing that motivated me to do so in 2017, but later now joining in 2020. I remember thinking to myself, there is no other way that I can progress politically if I don't join a political party.
Yes.
And to a lot of our people who are of our age, that usually seems like you're going against what you believe in, because most of our age mates come from a moral perspective. And when you come from a moral perspective, you look at the political parties that are there for you, and you don't see the morality that you want or you believe in on a day-to-day basis. But I understood that I'm not going to create a new system by my own. So unfortunately, and this is now, I think, where the conversation will go, is that we have to have a very uncomfortable conversation about what it is to be a young person in a political party.
Yes, yes.
And when we do that, then we understand that we have to first of all join and change from within.
Yes.
And I think the change has begun, and as we have the conversation, I will show you how that change has begun. Thank you.
Wonderful. That is a very proper topic. That now the conversation should be, once the young people have joined a political party, how do they start now making change from within? I will jump from the panel and I will now come back to you. After listening and reflecting from what our good panelists have said, now to you. What is that Kenya you want? How do we realize that Kenya we want? What do youths want to see in the Kenya we want? So I think I'll pass by. The mic should be running around, and I need to see people's reflection. What is this Kenya we want? Therefore, after that, we will get the reflections from the online team, and therefore we'll move forward. Yes.
Good afternoon. Kajiado oye. Kajiado power. Sisi ni vijana, situweke power kidogo bwana. Niaje Kajiado power. We have heard from the panelists about the Kenya we want, but from my side, I want a Kenya whereby we are all equal. Hakuna cha ati common mwananchi. Na mwenye si common mwananchi ni nani? Sisi zote ni common mwananchi, because we pay the taxes at the end of the day. And I have been wondering whether those people who call us common mwananchi, whether they pay taxes like us. So we want a Kenya whereby after we pay the taxes, we are all equal in terms of accessing healthcare, in terms of accessing infrastructure, in terms of accessing good education and jobs. Because we have heard from Sophie here that tulienda Science Congress, tukaenda Maths Contest, tukiaidiwa dunia poa. Sasa after tumemaliza hiyo shule, saizi tumeadiwa sitaki kusema hiyo country. Asante sana. Somebody else?
Pascal is saying that he wants a Kenya whereby everyone is equal before the law. And of course, that is a Kenya that should be realized. So the conversation is, how do youth help in realizing that Kenya we want? Yes, Kaka. How do youth help in realizing the Kenya we want after Pascal has said that we want a Kenya whereby everyone is equal? Whereby hakuna cha common mwananchi, anauliza yule mwenye sio common mwananchi, ye ni nani? So how wewe kama kijana unachangia kivipi kupata hiyo Kenya yenye unataka? Yes.
Okay, thank you. My name is
Yes.
My name is Bolton. Sorry. Okay, so my name is Bolton. I am a renowned Pan-Africanist. So before I even begin, I'd love to give an analogy, right? So for me, my perception is just like a vehicle that is moving. Those are what we call our political parties, right? They're taking us towards a destination. And these vehicles, there comes a time that it needs repairs, maybe servicing, okay? So when the vehicle gets troubled or is broken down, it needs a mechanic. So we as the youth, I believe we are the mechanics that should go into these political parties and make amends and correct the different problems that we have in our political parties, right? So that is my strong belief, that the youth are the mechanics that are supposed to go into political parties and make amends on what we're having challenges in. Because I believe when we go into elections, we have already nominated candidates from the political parties. So when you go to the ballot, we already have a limited number of choices. Right? We have people who have already been placed for us in the ballots, and you have to choose either or. So if we are able to make the decision as young people, as the youth, and decide on who we are taking to the ballot prior inside the political parties, when you choose candidates who are going into the ballot, I believe that's where we are going to have this first win. We are going to get the youth going into the ballot as candidates. So that's my belief of what the role of us, the youth, are, and that's what we should do. Thank you.
Wonderful. So my brother here is telling us that number one way in which to put the vehicle that is taking us to power on a repair is by youths being candidates. Do we agree? Tunakubaliana? That sisi wenyewe lazima tukue tunawania viti hata kama ni ya MCA na vyeo tofauti. I'm grateful. I'm yet to hear from a lady. Yes, Mugaba. Before I hear from a lady here in the room. Yes.
Because it was on record.
Yes.
It is Magoba.
Okay.
And not Mugabe. Thank you very much. Kajiado power.
Power.
Kajiado power.
Power.
Very nice. So my name is Magoba Emmanuel.
Yes.
I am a political scientist like my brother, but I'm not vying
Wonderful.
just yet.
Yes.
So I'll start by picking it from where he left.
Yes.
An analogy. Yeah. And this one, we will answer it ourselves.
Yes.
When you are traveling by a ship, si mnajua ship, ile ya majini.
Ile meli.
So Plato asks, when you are traveling by a ship,
yes,
will you trust a trained captain, or rather a trained person, to take you through the ship, ama you'll just trust anyone else? And I think that should also work with pilot. Will you trust a trained pilot or just anyone to take you through? And Plato relates that to a state, or rather governance of a state. Why is it that when you are traveling with a ship, you'll want an educated or rather trained person to specifically take you through the journey?
Yes.
But now when it comes to governance of a state, you just take any options that you have. You understand that analogy?
Yes.
So I feel like a Kenya we want is a Kenya whereby we as citizens are aware of what we need, number one, aware of what we need. And then number two, just as Napoleon Bonaparte says,
yes,
if you want something to be done, get someone to be responsible. So I feel like we need a Kenya that individuals
Yes.
get responsible
Uh-huh.
of their responsibilities
Yeah.
before them. And just before I hand over the microphone,
Yes.
one of the panelists said
Uh-huh.
she is from a political party,
Yes.
and she was very clear. She said the political party is about number 95.
93.
90.
3.
Okay, very
Mm,
nice.
93.
So we are having 93 parties.
Yes.
Well, it's just my wish that we at least see difference from this 93rd political party because my party, the party that I used to be a member of, today I came here so that I'll be able to listen to ideologies of these 93 parties
Yes.
and see a party that I can comfortably. Because I used to belong to a party that is, they say bigger south of Sahara and north of. Relax.
Unaongeza pressure.
Relax. But we got some issues. But we got some issues. And nowadays we don't even look at our party, we're just looking at power. So today I'm here to look at the ideologies of these 93 parties. And I'm sure by the end of the day, I'll be able to see a party that will suit me well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mugoba. Now, Mugoba unaweka mshumari kwa watu wengine yenye haifai, lakini Mugoba has come on a market whereby he's having a display of 93. Today you want to choose one, while he was one at the same time. I don't know whether this one is among the 93. So should we eliminate this one so that we only have 92 for you? Yes. So as at now, that one of yours is still standing out. Yes, my brother here. You are having a very burning point when he was speaking. Let's hear from you.
Thank you so much. How are you, everyone? My name is Michael Otieno, the National Deputy Organizing Secretary of the greatest party, the Party for the Youth, that's the People's Renaissance Movement. And I'd just love to touch on whatever my brother said and also land on where you left.
You want to land on him?
No, where he left. You said we as youths should be the engineer of these political parties. Sometimes, even in the road here, there are some unroadworthy vehicles, as my brother has clearly stated.
Yes.
So there are some vehicles that even if we as youths decide that we want to make them, they are broken beyond repair. And that's why we as the People's Renaissance Movement have begun this political party to at least give that youth who is being left behind that platform.
Yes.
And today as I was coming, yesterday I had a chat with my proposed party leader, that's Honorable Caleb Amisi, the MP Saboti constituency.
Yes.
And he told me three things before I came here.
Yes.
I should be smart, sound intelligent, and not disappoint him. And I asked him, Mheshimiwa, these guys have been looking for change. What change do you think we need as a country? And he told me, Michael, check on this. And you'll allow me give you this breakdown.
You have half a minute.
Yeah, I'm in finishing.
Yes.
So if we check from 202, these guys have just been the same guys. They've just been, let's say, today you guys are together, they're together, tomorrow you're with the lady, and you see, it's always been that way. If you check on 202, there was NAK and Kanu. On NAK, there was Mwai Kibaki, Raila Odinga, Kalonzo, Michael Wamalwa. Then when you check on Kanu, there was Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi. That's 202. If you move to 207, there was now PNU party and ODM. In PNU, there was Mwai Kibaki, Uhuru, who in 202 they were not with in the same. And if you check on it all through till 2022, they have just been the same guys. And that's why we as the PM party, we are saying we are not going to play that monkey game with them. And we are saying that we are going to elect a youth that is going to represent the vision that we want for this country.
So wonderful, so wonderful. So my brother here is saying that however much these political parties are vehicles, there are some vehicles that are roadworthy. that they should. So what they don't even need repair. We'll see.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Morris Pole from Kajiado. I'm from DCP party. And now that we have a person who is in the market, we should at least try to convince him to to one political party. And for me, okay. And for me, I want to ask a brother here, because we are talking from a car perspective or a vehicle perspective, and there are some vehicles which need to be repaired. Now comes here a DCP party, a vehicle that is not being repaired, a brand new vehicle that is preaching one term. Can you see that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. May I have a lady in the room? I need a lady in the room. Yes, this you can pass the mic to her. After that, we will tend to get our online participants.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Sharon Sifuma. I've intentionally dressed as a student because the Kenya that I want is where education system prepares us as young people, not only to pass exams, because I think that is the notion that has been, but one that also prepares us to create opportunities for other people, to be in a space where we are making impact in the society at large. Because being mtoto wa mwalimu, my mother has been a teacher for very long years before she retired. You get to realize as a young person, I know all of us have gone through university and what, some did well, some maybe didn't, it's debatable. But, but the thing is, when we get outside after the 844 system, you find whatever thing or the system that you've been learning for all those years, and the practicality of it, vitu kwa ground ni very different. Tofauti. So how we attain that, maybe I'll hear more about how political parties influence that.
Yes.
But yes, maybe in regards to having policies in place through the political parties, that will help us to be people who create opportunity. Because now I know there's a notion of, there's a lot of online space, create opportunity.
Yes.
But then kama money the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
So yes, a Kenya where education equips someone beyond just passing exams and finding a job.
Wonderful. So there is a notion that, and one of the panelists here said that we used to be told that ukipita mtihani maisha yatakuwa sawa. Some of us were told that ukikaa karibu na kitabu utalala ukifika huko mbeleni. And it was all that. So I think that is a very important point, that the Kenya we want is where education equips people to be economically empowered. Right. Mr. Sa, I don't know whether we are having online engagement. There's a hand up there.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Massimo Deungala, also an artist. The Kenya that I envision is Kenya yenye my youths tuna live. Siku die on our daily basis. A country whereby system ina protect our lives. Not kutua every day. A system that protects its own citizens' lives. A country whereby citizens have a fair cost of living. Because most of the times you get that cost of living inatulemea juu prices of things huku chini. But if I ask, ukiuliza politicians saa hii nyanya ni pesa ngapi, atakujibu.
Atakujibu.
Si ndio?
Ajui.
Ukimwambia ulienda hosi ukakosa kutibiwa atishaifanya, atakuuliza hiyo ni shaa gani na yake inafanya. Unaona? We want a country whereby even disabilities is not a challenge in our country, whereby also the disabled have equal chance kusimama kwa power, na even in the spaces that we have kwa job opportunities. A country whereby even our soil is being protected, being betrayed and sold. And also a country whereby the leaders, when you tuna join political parties, it's because we believe that it's the oppression that has been going on for years and years and years. That is what been into the change of us, the youths, joining political parties and speaking out. The artists using their expressions to speak out. But you find out that expression of thoughts is being minimized in our own country. Say unaongea na ujui kama kesho utaamka. You might be abducted like Lichuma or anyone else. So we want a free country whereby rights are just equal, are being fought for. We want leaders who understand our situations from ground. I'm so proud to see Sophie, who is also a comrade.
Wow.
So if we have such kind of leaders that come from our own homes, our own communities, the people that we have struggled together with that understand our daily basis struggles, we believe that they're going to fight for us. So I also support the issue of us, the youth, joining political parties, but I also emphasize on before joining the political party, do your research, please. Usiende uku another Caswell or somebody else to betray us in this struggle. We want people who understand us and who will fight for truly the citizens, not for yourself, not the personal interest. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. It is very important that it is as youths that we are talking about the Kenya we want and how we want it. My brother, I don't know whether we're having online responses. We check before we proceed. Is there somebody who has streamed online who will help us read our online engagement before? Because there are also participants in this room. Kunayo? Akunayo? Kuna mwenye amestream online atusome? Oh, tutasoma mbeleni. Aye, fine.
Let's just proceed tutasoma online.
Sawa, thank you very much. Now, I'm coming back to our panelists. You've heard how the audience have made their reflections on the Kenya we want. Now, we are moving from the reforms. Now we want to come to system, right? And we want to come to system and the civic action. So, Mr. Wesley, now reforms have been said. Now we are having a system, and the system should take a civic action. On your perspective, what will that be like where now we are having a system? We are having a system running. Already reforms have been said. And now we are stepping from the reforms. Now we are coming to the system and the civic action. In your perspective, as a young leader, as a prospective leader in this country, what will that be like? I don't know whether that is a difficult question.
Okay, so it's not a difficult question, because the way I see it, the reason why we're in this room is because the system as is makes us very uncomfortable as young people. And also, one of the other things that is making us have this conversation is that while we left to our own devices, most of us would have not joined the system as is. So already as we stand, we are making a compromise so that we can attempt to fix the system. And I started this conversation by saying, I like to make people have honest conversations by talking about the uncomfortable things. Personally, I come from DCP party. Before I was in DCP party, I was a youth leader for a political party for 4 years. So I know your system ya kuingia kwa siasa unapata you have bright ideas, good ideas, but you come and find people who are going to consistently try and trip you up so that those ideas don't get where they need to go. I understand that feeling. But the discomfort that we need to talk about is that as young people, we are not selfish enough. Think about all our leaders. And I like what the National Deputy Organizing Secretary of PM Party said. But the one thing I point out and reinforces my point that we're not selfish enough is because a lot of us young people represent leaders. We do not represent ourselves. And over the journey of being a young leader in this country for about 5 years, you know, realize all of us, we are struggling to make talking points so that our leaders see it. And I do admit there is some growth aspect to that. But the reason why I said we are not selfish enough is this. Sophie hapa ni rafiki yangu. Ako PM party. I remember before she joined PM party, before PM party was a thing, me and Sophie had a conversation and I told her, you are of no use to me if you don't succeed. Nilimwambia, there is no point that you come to my side na sisi wote tuna struggle, ama nikuje pande yako na sisi wote tunainama. I am very happy to see that Sophie is the national youth leader of a political party today. And that speaks to the selfishness that we need to adopt. Hawa wanasiasa wote, including your party leader, my party leader, wote wanapanga siasa yao. Sisi vijana tunapanga siasa yetu aje. I remember in 2022, before the elections, there was something I used to call guaranteed minimum returns for the young people. And the idea of this thing is, sisi vijana, we don't have to agree. Mimi sijui kwa nini wewe unafuata Caleb Amisi. Wewe sijui kwa nini ulikuwa ODM. Wengine hapa sijui kwa nini wako chama zenye wako. Hamjui kwa nini mimi niko kwa DCP. But the idea should be that regardless of what political parties we are in, agenda za youth zinasukumwa side zote. Na nimewaambia mimi ni storyteller, so please allow me to give you a very short story. 1 minute. In 2022, William Ruto took us to Nyayo Stadium. And we were there to sign an agreement between the candidature of William Ruto and the youth of Kenya Kwanza. And I was there representing my party. And one of the commitments that were there was that the young people in this room must get a representation in cabinet for youth affairs. The equivalent to what Harriet Chigai has today to represent matters of women in cabinet. Si mnajua your position? Mshaijiuliza kwa nini ya vijana haikupeanwa? It is because William Ruto saw, aliambia watu wote wa UDA including sisi wa Kenya Kwanza, na sisi tulikuwa tumetoka kwa sababu we were from different parties. Aliwaambia nyinyi mkisikizana mtuambie ni nani mumlete. Hapo ndio tukaanza kusikia kuna watu waliform Friends of Ruto 2017. Kuna wengine wamekuwa mama na Ruto sijui kuanzia miaka ngapi. And that is how our agreement was done away with as soon as he left Nyayo Stadium. Juu walishindwa kuagree. Kwa sababu now everybody, because they could not agree on which young person goes to the cabinet, now everybody anaenda kulobi na mheshimiwa. Sasa wewe unatafuta mheshimiwa wako nisukumie kwa rais. The reason why I've given that short story is because, and I know I'm short on time, but this is very important, wakili. His selfishness nasema, you must understand that you're not my enemy because you're in PM party. I might disagree with your leader. I might disagree with the style of leadership that he subscribes to. I actually have an active critique of Caleb Amisi, but you are of more use to me at PM succeeding than if you're on my side not succeeding. Huyu jamaa hapa ni kiongozi wa Kajiado. Nikimuona hapa najua Kajiado is represented. It is for my selfish interest that I know me, I'm sitting in this room with governors, ministers, presidents. I don't know who is who. But if you do not succeed at the point of being selfish as a young person, hakuna kitu tunafanya. So the civic action that he is talking about is we must first of all put our mindset as sisi vijana lazima uangalie the other person as an asset to your success. Huyu mtu ndo atakufungulia mlango ya ofisi yake ile siku utakuwa unataka biashara siku moja in the near future. I'll stop there for now.
No, Wanja. Wesley have brought us to what is called organized participation. Because protests have been made, demonstrations have been made, we've gone to street, we've picketed, we've filed petitions to Bunge, some we've taken to Police Central, some we've given ultimatum for 24 hours. Yeah, like some of us. So, what would such an organized participation be like? I don't know whether that is a difficult question, but I think it is a good question. Now tell us, what is this organized participation? Because we need to be organized and to participate. Thank you very much.
Wow. for me, I would say that organized participation, it comes in different ways. One is, how well are you guys like prepared to come up like with that agenda that you want to table? And also another way is, how well structured is this a particular organization that is going to table their needs or anything? How well is it structured so that we can say that at least there will not be that fighting in between, even when you're going to achieve something? Let's take an example. During the Mandamano or the demonstration, we could see there was a unity between, with the young people. But at last, we can see like wengine wanaenda wakigawanyika. Why? Because somebody was poached from that demonstration, and badala ya kutukumbuka sisi, anaenda na manufaa yake. That is being, you just there for the benefit, and yet you don't know what exactly do you want. That's not really an organized way of you to table your needs. For me, if I would give my own suggestions on how you guys should go, like, we are a youth, we are a civil society, we are a civil organization that we really want to table our needs to the government or to maybe whatever you're doing, and you feel like this way it's supposed to be the organized way. First, you need to be structured. Have that one leader who is not going to just anawahepa, anaanza kusema, no, for me, I went to the President Ruto, so I'm not with you guys, so you're on your own. That's not the thing. We need to have a unity in between us and to understand what exactly do we want. Not to be poached and then unaingia kisimani. Unafaa kuwa, if you started like, yeah, we are going, then we need to go to that place all together. We need not to be like, if I'm poached, I'm not supposed to leave you guys behind, because then again, what is that? And iyo kukua, we don't believe in ourselves. We are not trusting each other. Today we will start a demonstration. And then maybe when I'm there outside, somebody poached me and they like, oh, I can see you're a very nice leader. You can be able to rally something. And then afterwards, I'll see my benefits and then I forget you. That's not the way we are going. We need to be like, yes, if we are starting this one, then we are going to this way. Just be organized, be well organized and structured, and know what exactly do you want. Another way is just to ensure that you voice out what you need and not to be intimidated. You don't want to be that person who is intimidated and be like, oh, nah, I'm not going to, I'm not going to say that because the government is going to listen to this and this and this. Or I'm not going to say that because I know the Subaru is waiting me there outside. No way. Just speak it out. If you feel for real, I'm not employed because one or two things, I'm having a constraint, I'm not having a favorable economic stability, then I'll need to voice my voice. I'll need to talk about it. I'll need to say that if we're being abducted, then we need a favorable system that is going to be there for us. And that's why when you're part of the party, you're going to be having, if they are going to have their own manifestos, then you'll be part of that. You're not going to say that, oh, I'm just a young person, I'm not going to contribute anything. Then you're not participating in any way. You need to be there. You need to ensure that in this manifesto, for this government is going to take up the other government, the manifestos that are there are really favorable for the young people, have my priorities, and really have my needs that I want to have. So that when they enter into that government, I'm going to be questioning for them if they're going to not answer for my priorities. Thank you.
And therefore, thank you very much for that elaboration on how youths need to be organized and how an organized participation should look like. And therefore, Mr. Gideon, being a political analyst, when youth say that they want a better Kenya, the question is, who actually influences the decisions of making such a better Kenya, right? And where does that power sit? And who influences it? Having in mind that we are having institutions. We are having parliament, we are having executives, we are having county assembly, having all those institutions. And and those institutions bring about what's called budget. And you've even understand that when budgeting is done, the the members who are in those houses, they rush back to their political bedroom and they take direction from there. So what will you advise youths? Because it's now clear that youths takes political parties for granted. What will you advise? Because youths want to have a better Kenya. They have cognizance to the factor of where that power sits, but they are still in so much way taking political parties for granted. What advice will you give such a youth?
Well, Kenya is a representative democracy where leaders are elected and they are given the responsibility of leading a country. And the vehicles used by these politicians to get to power is political parties. They get elected for one reason, and that is to form government and to lead. Without a political party, you cannot form government. And there is another provision that there is a possibility of one running as an independent candidate, sponsoring themselves or independently to power. So political parties really shape the future of the country because they determine who becomes what in this country, right from the president up to the very basic unit of the political or elective positions, which are the MCAs and all those people. Then we have the cabinet that sits to make policies, bring forth budgets and estimates and such like stuff, which are all determined by political parties. Political parties have even gone beyond just sponsoring candidates to parliament, to the county assembly and to the senate and the rest of the institutions, to influencing the behavior of the politicians in this country. Simply because we have seen so many of them professing and really pledging loyalty to the authorities, of how high they would jump if asked to do so without questioning any other thing. So if we go by how the political parties have become powerful in shaping the behavior of this country, then it means that we have suspended nearly every other thing that brings on board leadership in terms of having people elected, and we've narrowed down to the power that political parties have got. So for me, I hold this very strong opinion that political parties determine who becomes what in this country. They sponsor and they recruit individuals to political positions or to elective positions. Yeah.
Do you think that youth only think that political parties begin on the day of election? As you answer that, why? Because majority of youth only interact with political parties when they are dawning on the marginalized level of those political parties, when they have been mobilized and remobilized and collected. Make noise or push for an interest of a given politician or a given political party. So why do you think that you only want to think that political parties start on the day of election?
Well, let me say, to be very fair, that your analysis is a bit harsh. Because as someone who has joined a political party recently, but there have been youths like Jeff who've been in political parties for more than 5 years now. So, but the larger majority, the larger majority of young people do not see the need of being in political parties. Why? Because as Kenyans, we have to understand a little bit of history. Political parties are supposed to be institutions governed by ideologies, policies, and values, right? Vision, mission. There should be that. But what we have had in Kenya, contrary to what even the Political Parties Act provides for, is political parties are centered around individuals, where if you hear Wiper, you of course know who it is centered around. That's why we are saying ODM is only big in heaven now, because the person who was there making it big is gone. You understand? We are making no, I'm just saying I'm saying, like, that's the mistake that we have done, and we are not correcting it even with the new political parties that are coming up. Because you see the party that I belong to, the first thing that clicks in your mind is my party leader. You're not thinking about the structures that we have put in, the sort of values that we are advancing, our ideological standing as a party. So as young people, we cannot do things the same way and expect different results. If we continue with this trend, as new emerging parties, we are really taking forward the same exact disease that has been with parties that have existed for 20 years. But if we have a different conversation on what does DCP stand for, what does PM stand for, what does Jubilee stand for, what does Viper stand for, we argue ideologically. Tuseme, for example, I can say a DCP party leader was asked, what do you think about the public debt? What will we do, or what will your government do when they come in about the public debt? His answer was, he will continue paying the debt because we borrowed the debt, right? As PM, we are saying no. We first want a public debt audit so that we're able to see which debt is odious, which debt is true. Like, those are the arguments that we're supposed to be having. Not, oh, your party leader has done this, oh, your party leader, it's counterproductive. Again, I have been in the presence of Zambian leaders, and what they did is what you're proposing. They came together as the youth leagues for the different political parties that were anti that regime at that time. And they formed something they were calling Youth for Parliament. So where, for example, if it is in the instance of today here in Kenya, tutakuja PM, tukuje Jubilee, tukuje DCP, tukuje Viper, tukuje DP, tukuje DAPK, tukuje easy political parties zote zenye hazitaki Ruto. We sit down, we agree. What are our minimums as young people? We don't all have to belong to one political vehicle, but we can advance our bare minimums as young people, each in our individual political parties, so that we push for more representation of young people in parliament and in county assemblies. So that even if, God forbid, this bad man comes back, who will he find in parliament? Us. Who will he find in county assemblies? Us. If he finds a parliament, like PM, what are we saying? We are saying we want to occupy parliament and we want to occupy what? County assemblies. No, just in case. Watu wa parts of heaven wadanganywe, wampigie kura.
watatukuta hapo tumewangojea hivi impeachment Caleb Amisi ako nayo hivi kwa mkono. 2 weeks saishi ako home. You see, like young people right now, it is the same way they are infiltrating us. It's the same way we must infiltrate them. And the only way to infiltrate that system is joining political parties, being there and working from the inside. And lastly, there's a difference between organizing and mobilizing. Organizing is continued renewal of the mind, using political education, changing the mindset of people. But mobilizing ni ya tunakuja tunasimama hapa Kitengela, tunawaambia one time na tunaenda home na hatujui kama mmebadilika akili ama mtabadilika. So as young people, let us be intentional about organizing and not mobilizing.
Wonderful. You want a rejoinder? My good friend Jeff here is having a rejoinder. As you're doing a Wesley, as you're doing a rejoinder. First of all, this conversation here is non-partisan. That is one. So we are only coming here to engage on the importance of joining a political party. That is one. So this conversation here, in our back of mind, should be very non-partisan. Absolutely. Is which is nice. So Jeff, Wesley, the question now that we are asking is that there is frustration by the young people that one political party is closed. There is lack of transparency. They are transactional and whatnot and whatnot. In response to that frustration, what advice would you advise a youth who is listening either here or online that is frustrated that thinks that a political party is largely transactional, largely closed, not transparent, as you do a rejoinder in 1 minute?
So I think that's a very important question. But the reason why I'll answer that question in this way. Lazima kwanza si vijana, sorry. We understand that hizi chama for a long time zimekuwa a place where people eat. I hope wenye mko hapa mmeinteract. Masangwenya wamejaa kwa hizi chama.
Na pia at the same time, there is a notion that mtu anafungua chama ili afiche pesa.
Ni kweli? Aoshe. Let me tell you, these are things that hizi ni vitu lazima mjue.
Yes.
Na nitapeana example. And again, that's why umeona leo hapa kuna ni soko huru. Huyu anauza PM, mimi nauza DCP, but at the end of the day I've told you guys we have to be selfish with the way we think. Right? The reason why that I'm telling you is allow me to nidunge kidogo biggest party in south of Sahara and Limpopo. Hiyo chama ni sawa, hiyo chama ukiangalia hiyo chama structure hiyo chama hakuna mtu hapa anaweza kuwa youth leader. One, because you're not above 40 years. Enda muangalie youth.
So you are telling us the qualification first is to be above 40 years.
To be above 40 years. Yeah, youth leader. Go check the youth leader of ODM, how old he is. And I'm not talking about Mr. Power. And please understand why it is important mjue hii story. Lazima mkiingia kwa hizi chama because sahi chama mjue ziko na people who look like us. Young lawyers, young engineers, mabadi wanaingia kwa chama. So you must know what you're going to face there. Kuna watu chama inakuwaga ni long term investment. Ana register chama, anangoja siku ya siasa anauza. Yes. So the reason why this gentleman here ali point out that watu wanazungukananga tu kwa hizi machama is because one, in Kenya we lack philosophical political party ideology. So you find that politics is about convenience. I like that Sophie leads about PM with rebirth. Personally, for me, when I look at DCP, it is an avenue for legislative and policy proposal. Mimi, I am only interested in effecting change through parliament. And I know DCP will have parliamentarians. Venye tu Sophie amewaambia hapa. The reason why watu wako frustrated is because wewe utaingia kwa chama na intentions zako nzuri, uende upate Sangwenya amekaa hapo 5 years, anataka haja yake ni pesa. Ama kama we ni dame, they want to sleep with you for you to get access in this.
Now with that frustration, what would you advise such a youth?
The advice is this.
Yes.
Kwanza, lazima tukue wengi kuliko wao.
Okay.
That's the only way. There are few people I've interacted with in this room. And one thing I do as a person who has been in political power, especially when I interact with ladies within the space, is that mimi mkinitisha for help, I don't ask you for anything. Unataka kitu naweza kupatia, kama siwezi kupatia siwezi. The reason why we need to be many is because mimi sitakubali Morris afinyiliwe nikiona. Kwa sababu ya Morris ikiharibika, hata mimi najua watanikujia next. For example, in DCP today, one of the things that the young people demanded was that we have an agreement with the party before elections ichache na campaigns ichache. Within 5 months we had achieved that. The reason is because tunaachiangwa stories za youth pale mwisho, ndio ikuwe kitu ya mwisho unakumbuka ukienda kwa ballot. If we are many, me, higher, this one, there is safety in numbers. And we do not have to even like each other. Ubaya wetu sisi wa young people, we attach our feelings to our political interest. And allow me to finish higher. Just this is important. Tuna attachingi like lazima nikupende ndo to work together. Ama tusikizane. Mimi sihitaji tusikizane. Mimi nahitaji tu ukue hapo, we are many bodies, that if those wazai wakuje waingilie Sophie siku moja, watatu wa Sophie kwa hiyo chama, anaweza itana ma youth leader wote wakuje wamdefend waseme asongi. Watafanya nini? So the advice would be, do your research. Miss Ndala there said you do your research. Do your research. Kwenye utaenda na utaangukia. Make sure mko wengi kuliko wa. Exactly.
So thank you very much. Now that the question of that frustration has been answered, Mr. Gideon, I want to ask you a question. Now that youths have, the frustration has now been taken away from them. Now they are in these political parties. They now want to understand, how do political parties even influence budget and even laws? Yes, kind of.
Well, after we elect our leaders to go to parliament, to go to the county assemblies, there is what we call...
And even policies.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is what we call parliamentary groups.
Okay.
For political parties.
Yes.
There are leaders of majority, leaders of minorities, I mean, within the political system. And most of what happens just after the elections is a scramble for the leadership of these houses. Simply because individual reasoning is suspended. Now, we now have to think collectively. As a party.
Okay.
That as much as I sought leadership as a fresh blood into the system, but once I get there, we have seen a number of times that that individual sort of reasoning disappears suddenly. So what happens is that our political party has said we impeach someone.
Yes.
The political party has said we increase this budget to this extent. The political party has said that the borrowing ceiling should be up from what we have currently. So the reason for which I say is that we have, the reason for which I say that we have that collective thinking is that political parties determine how an individual politician behaves, how an individual politician makes decisions, and we have seen them even suffer. Most of them have lost positions in the, the National Assembly, Senate, County Assembly, simply because of defying that which the authority has said or what the nominating party has said. We have seen a nominated member of, is it the Senate? The senator, just losing a political seat because of appearing in a meeting that was organized by an opposition candidate. So that is how they have been, conditioned to behave and think. So when it comes to policies and budgets, they even forget that which they were sent to do by their people. And remember, we said that Kenya is a representative democracy, and what happens in the National Assembly, in the county assemblies, and in the Senate is that we need to do that which helps the members that we represent, or the communities we represent, most of them being vulnerable. We need to do something that helps them become more resilient, be able to cope with the challenges they are facing, and make policies that are community-centered, that are reflective of what the needs we have, as a community or a society. So basically, I am here to say that political parties have really influenced how budgets are made, how the public debt rises, and how all these decisions that affect our future directly happen. So basically, we need to now move beyond just the mayor talks and appearing to be cheerleaders in terms of cheering them to continue seeking power, into making such reforms internally from the political parties. Yes. That I've seen most of you blame a certain political party, which I'm not going to mention, for, okay, fine, as you say. But the reason for which we have seen this, you can even go back to how coalitions have been made in the past. Yes. You know, coalitions really influence how our future looks like. Because maybe we were seeking defense of human rights, we were seeking other better things, but when leaders meet to greet each other, when handshake happens, yes, we forget everything else.
So I think
yeah,
that has come very clear. My fellow leader, my brothers stipulated and articulated very eloquently on how political parties influence even policies, budgetings, and even laws. You are advising a youth to join a political party. The youth is asking a simple question. What other things do political parties do after? Because a youth is thinking that a political party is only relevant during elections. Now, in addition to what Gideon has said, what other importance do political parties have after elections?
Wow. As I'm looking at you, so it's like I'm advising you as well. So advising a young person to join a political party, it's one of the, I can't say the hardest thing to convince, but at the same time, you'll need to be very, very, very cautious when you're going to join a political party. Because one thing that as you said, some of these political parties, after the elections, they vanish. And then you'll see them back again, maybe when we are just heading to the election. One thing that I would really want to emphasize is just look at the long term of these political parties. What do they have even after the elections? Not just look at before the elections, but also you can look at the after long term. Because when you look at the short term, if they don't make it, then you're gonna sleep and you're gonna be very stranded to be like, where are you going to be? And for the youths who have not yet joined the parties, first you'll need to understand their manifestos. Does they really like have your priorities as well? If they don't have, then you'll need to know that that political party, nah, it's not really favoring you at all. And also you need to be very, very, very detailed on each and every manifesto that they have. Not a manifesto that they're gonna just convince us to elect them, but a manifesto that will also, even though they don't make it to that, government, they're gonna have the long-term way of, working together, or even ensuring that also their manifestos have really been pushed forward, especially for the young people who are in that political party, or even who are going to join the political party. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you very much. My sister, I would also ask the same question. And you are deliberated the evidence that you are knowledgeable so well about a political party. And now, will helping us, again, just to still understand the question further. What are other importance, in addition to the attributions from the respective panelists? What are other importance of a political party after elections and even beyond?
You see, for us, birthing a new nation cannot take place during the electioneering period. The sort of rot that is in our country is so deep that...
You being cognizant, one, to the fact that the silent majority are only aware of political parties during elections period.
Yeah.
And that is a fact. And therefore, we are trying to preach a gospel so that for the first time in this country, majority of young people to join political parties, but they will need to be educated so much on what are other benefits, right? Do they have beyond? Proceed.
You see, first of all, the people who are in charge of these political parties, Aki, for sure, the most we can give them is 15 years. 20 years, they'll be dead.
So
they are old. Like, these people are 70, 80 years old. Life expectancy in Kenya is 65 years.
Let me ask you. Let me ask a question.
My party leader is 38 years old.
Let me ask you a question.
He has 30 more years to live.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
But you are not waiting for me to clear, then you ask.
Fine, just a minute. Let me ask a question. Do the political parties are only hell-bently on the political party leaders?
That is the system that we are having now.
And do you think
Akisema left,
young people will really get into that? Because really, my understanding of a political party is an institution.
Yes, it should be.
And an institution should be a person.
Person?
Meaning they should have the rights of legal entities. They can be sued and
they
be
can
sued.
sue. That's
they
true.
can be they can hire and fire.
Yes.
So meaning it is an institution.
Yes.
And
on
to what
paper.
extent? Yes.
On paper.
No.
It is an institution.
No, because we are preaching a gospel that really need to make a
yeah.
Do not deviate from that.
I'm not deviating from you are wewe unanikata ungekuwa umengoja nimalize kuongea ungesikia
so I want you to answer in the line.
All I'm trying to say is the importance of young people joining political parties. It is our future that we are shaping.
Yes.
Why are we entrusting our future to people who are already currently living their dreams?
Yes.
The importance of being in a political party is the ideologies that political party stands for. You are able to advance them moving forward for your future, for posterity. Yes. What does that look like? For instance, for People's Renaissance Movement Party,
we are charging for economic freedom in our lifetime. Do you know what a lifetime means? It means my 8-year-old son must experience the economic freedom when he's 8 and when he's 20 and when he will be 40. Because I experienced economic freedom in my lifetime. Mi nikiwa high school, kuna dem tulimaliza high school hivi kama amebaiwa BMW na babake. Alienda kusoma medicine, alikuwa anaingia kampuni na BMW. Mimi na huyo msichana tutafikiana saa ngapi? Na ye akiwa 18 alikuwa na BMW. So your economic freedom right now determines the economic freedom of your children, determines the sort of schools your children will go to. Are you getting?
Yes.
Another importance is you are able to sit. Kwani nominations zinatokanga wapi? According to the number of positions that you will garner at elections, people will gain nominated positions out of that. So you as a young person working for your political party, you're positioning yourself such that if in Kiambu County, PM party garners 100 MCA seats, then tutakuwa na kama 10 nominated seats muta benefit. CCs, kwani wanatafutwa wapi? Si wanatafutwa hapo kwa hizo political parties, kwa the loyalists. So one thing we need to understand as young people is politics is a long con game. You don't win today. You don't join a political party and win today. That's why loyalty is part of the game.
Yes.
And loyalty, hauwezi kuwa loyal to 10 different people in politics.
Yes.
You have to choose one entity to be loyal to. And that loyalty pays in the long run.
Yes.
Not right now.
Wonderful.
So that's also another advantage of being in a... Also, political parties get money every single financial year. So you can be employed by your political party.
Wonderful.
Because according to kama already, yani iko budgeted for kwa taxes zako.
Yes.
So we kukua kwa political party inapata pesa. Kama hau participate, wanakula pesa.
Wonderful. So thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, can we clap for the panelists? And now we want to go to a Q&A session. When we were having this conversation, I made it very clear that we were on 3 dimensions. Number 1 is on the Kenya we want. Number 2, how do we realize it as youths? And that came very clear from even the audience and even the panelists. And the third dimension, which was more hot, is how does political parties, right, facilitate in realizing the change that we want. You know, audience were listening to you panelists. And now you'll be accepting the questions that will be coming from the down of the floor. I see the floor is really heated. I don't know who has charged the floor among the 4, but we will know as we go. And now, therefore, Mr. Obed, you are having someone was having a hand up there. We can pass the mic. So please make it very short. We are running out of time. At least a half a minute each.
So,
And let us begin so that we take note of the question. Yes, sir.
So
Proceed.
I like it when I speak, you also listen.
Yes.
Because I listen to you while you are speaking. Allow me to bring this thing back to the foundation of why we are here. One, the root of this meeting is when youth were saying, oh, we are partyless, oh, we are leaderless, oh, we are something less, right? Then we came to this question. How can political parties be used as vehicles of reforms or vehicles of change? So I wanted us, as we are going forward with this conversation, we limit ourselves on answering this question. Why are political parties vehicles to do what? To bring reforms. And I want us to run away from maybe mentioning our parties, our party leaders, age and heaven and earth. No, Okay, Sophie, you are surprised. Okay, the reason as to why we are here, we want to bring this conversation so that that youth who is in the village can have an open mind of choosing any political party, right? Ajue umuhimu wa kile chama ambacho ataingia. We are not here maybe to drama about how mimi I belong to political party X. I'm not giving the reason as to why somebody should join political party X. But we should give reasons as to why somebody should join what? A political party. Apo tuko sawa. Before I go through the online comments, because even the floor was heated. We never even got time to read through the online questions. People asking the Kenya they want online, but hapo ilikuwa tu my party leader is 70 and 90. So, okay. So now allow me to let us. Sophie, I also want you to not to be shallow in thinking on your part.
Let us make a
Yes?
let me make a direction.
So let us go through the online comments.
Okay. It's okay. So, Mr. Engineer.
Yes, sir.
Please, let us.
No, let her.
So,
Come.
Mr. Engineer, you've given a direction.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that members of the House have taken direction, and we are still continuing the conversation.
Yeah.
I think not much has been lost.
Yeah.
And
but the panel is good.
The panel is good.
Kudos.
So you'll help me identify members who would want to ask questions with regard to your directions.
Yeah.
And to even the panelists.
Yeah.
So that we continue.
Okay. So allow me to welcome her to read through the online questions.
She can. Yes, by the way.
Okay. But stand guided, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. As a good student again, I write notes and have comments and questions to ask our panelists as my friend helps to look for the online comments. The question will be to the panelists. How can political parties outlive their founders, and what structure can be put in place? Because I've heard there's a lot of reference to the founders.
To the founders and the party leaders.
Yes, how can people outlive? Because you have already said all the many things.
Yes.
And then the other one will be, as a young person who doesn't have political aspirations to be an MP, MCA, only a few people can be. All of us young people cannot be, end quote. We see a lot of cases of corruption because some leaders decided to be selfish in the positions that they were in and go for the interest that they have. My main concern is, as young people, we should reach a space where we are selfless enough to the point that we consider the needs of the people we are going to represent. Because how different will we be? Maybe them at their time, they thought they were selfless, but they were selfish at one point because they started putting their interests more than the interests of the people. Yes, we are self-aware, should be the word. We know what we want, we know where we are standing at, and intentionality of how to move forward. But I don't think selfish is the word we want to go with, because we will still be the same people we are trying not to. And yeah, it's easy to be selfish. We are not ourselves, right? It's innately easy to be selfish, but it takes a lot to be selfless and put the needs of the people first.
Absolutely.
So quick run through of the online.
Yes.
Online one. I hope you still remember my personal questions.
Yes.
So let me just, I'm trying to read some of them. There should be, someone is saying there should be a crackdown to all the political parties. Some are rogue and unworthy to be called political parties. Another person is saying, for young people who feel delusional enough to disintegrate completely, what would you say to bring them back into conversations like this? I repeat, for young people who feel disillusioned enough to disengage completely, what would you say to bring them back to such conversations? And then I'm trying to see which ones are the questions. For those who are working directly with youth, what's the biggest misconceptions leaders have about what young people actually need versus what they assume we are asking for? Okay, there are very many questions. I hope the panelists are taking note of them. Okay. There's another one that says, okay, the rest are comments. I think maybe much later I can read. Political parties role beyond forming government. Okay, the rest are majorly. Oh, one more question I'm seeing here.
Yes.
How can youth ensure that leaders with integrity are fronted by political parties as candidates for general elections? I think more people are typing. With time, we can give them audience.
Oh, wonderful.
Very many.
So meanwhile, we can still take a round of questions. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon too.
My name is Diana. My question, you don't have to mention your party, but I'd love to know, according to the panelists, what are some of the reforms they would love to see in political party, especially on the aspect of tribe? Because as young people, we are saying we don't want to continue with the same issue of us being tribal. So, and we know majority of the political parties that are within our country have a tribal base. So what are the reforms that can come from the political parties to have the national aspect and not a tribal base? Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's a question to all of us, that youths are still on the same frustration lens that political parties are on tribal balkanization. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll start with a comment that in the year 1942, a guy called Joseph Schumpeter, he is a political author. He says that political parties are formed to simply get power and govern, and that politics or other political parties exist like a competitive market. You see how you go to the market and everyone is selling almost the same item, and then you have to select and buy from one. So that is also what political parties do. Because so far you have 93, as we've all agreed. So they come to us selling ideas, and it's now upon us to like buy an ideology or rather an idea from one of all these many political parties. So number one, you need to appreciate the need for political parties, because this is like a vehicle through which we can get to power. That was 1942. So I'm trying to imagine when these political parties started. My question will be, what is the current look of a modern political party? Because we've all seen the characteristics of the old political parties. It was all about power, 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 and power. And I think we all borrowed, all our old political parties borrowed from the old system of tribe and maybe age. You find that most of these political parties, instrumental positions, the party leadership, the SG, and maybe some finance, but mostly party leadership and SG, they'll possibly come from almost the same region or regions that have close ties. So as young people, what do we think could characterize modern political parties?
Thank you for that question. The last is still on the same political tribal balkanization. So, and the modern, how will the modern political party look like? Yes, Pascal.
Kajiado power.
Power.
Kajiado power tena.
Power.
When I say power, I'm non-partisan. The power I'm talking about here is not the party leader of that party X.
Yes.
Power is my name.
Okay.
My name is Pascal Wambua. Pascal Pa. And then Wambua Wa. When you combine, you get the power. So I'm guided by the laws of the house.
Yes.
Now, I put myself in the shoes of that voter in the villages, Pale Mashuru. After we lost elections, the 3 previous elections, our region has been voting this way, na wanauma nje. So after the elections, a young person was anaitwa ka junior. Sitaipiga kura tena. Sasa hizi kura tunapiga za nini? Sasa huyo mwenye hata wewe piga kura tena, tutamconvince aje aingie kwa chama. And the question they're being asking is, they are working very hard, but they are not seeing the fruits of their efforts. For example, they are saying that there's no need of me voting because at the end of the day, it's scripted. The leader is known. The winner of the election is known. Developments will go to the the party leader of the winning coalition. For example, we have been having a conversation, hii barabara mmepitia baadhi wenu kikuja hapa. Imeenda dual carriage ikafika mahali pale inaitwa Makutano. After imefika Makutano, imeishia hapo. The dual carriage. Sasa kuna kuja the ako kamoja. Now we have been having very serious problems there. Hapo Kapiti Plains ukisonga hivyo mpaka Konza. Accidents. Hizo ni like this week. I can't unafungua tu simu unaona accidents. Ni kwa sababu hiyo barabara scientifically inafaa kuwa dual carriage.
Yes.
Na wamejenga wamefikisha mahali kidogo hivi and then wamekata. So to cut the story short is young people needs to see their efforts in those political parties. Like chama itasaidiaje barabara kama hiyo even after elections. Chama itasaidiaje wananchi wa hapa Kajiado kupata maji ama some basic needs, because that's what the youth want to see.
Wonderful. So I have a minute. He's asking a question that the political party as an avenue of change, more specifically on infrastructure. Have a minute, 30 seconds.
All right. I think I've really been dishonest to myself if I would left this room without putting out this, because the main reason why I came here was to inject this truth. We'll be lying to each other if we'll have seated here all this time and failed to admit that some of these Party Y, now because we've used Party X so much, are the guys who placed us into this crisis. And that there's no way now they're telling us that all of a sudden they are now good people. And they really feel uncomfortable with the leaders of Party Z, because this person is telling them that, wait a minute, you are the guys who placed us into this hole, and now we need to restructure it. So as I conclude, I'd just love to tell you that we won't forget, we as youths, those who placed us into these problems. And perhaps the question I'd ask you, go ask your party leader, what changed? What changed that now is pretending like now is when he values this common mwananchi, that before he was not seeing it, but right now, because the youths have decided that we are not going to listen to you guys, now he has changed. What changed? I'd really appreciate if you guys would have answered that.
Wonderful. Let us have one here. Then.
Yeah, comrades, Viva. Kajiado Power.
Power.
So I'm Nick Morgan. For those who don't know me, I'm from Kajiado North. I'm also a youth representative. I'm also an MP aspirant in Kajiado North. Power. So, first of all, nilitoka huko kuja hapa sababu a friend of mine, Fidel Ongoya, sijamuona hapa. Nimeona tu Sophie. Unajua Sophie tumekuwa naye kwa street sana. Na yeye akusaidia one term. Yeye anasema Kaleba hiyo chama na kulingana na yeye hiyo chama inafaa. Haya, ni sawa. So, mimi ningependa kusema hivi kwa vijana wa Kenya, especially kwa wale wanataka viti. Unajua kutoka nianze hii mambo ya siasa, I've gone through a lot, and as a young person I've learned a lot. Mtu asikuje kukudanganya, sijui hii chama, they'll come and utatumiwa alafu utaachwa hapo. Mimi kitu naweza ambia vijana ni hivi. As you go to those political parties, piga hesabu yako. Number one, kuna zile chama watakutumia then they will dump you. Kuna zile chama wanataka wewe you chip in your own finance ukuje ulete kwa party. Sasa ask yourself, after the elections, after politics, ama after your period elections, what will you benefit as a young person? The last one, kama wewe unaangalia kiti yoyote, you want any seat, either MCA like my friend Sophie, yeye anataka kiti ya MCA piga townships, ndio? Congratulations manze, inshallah. So, mimi ningependa kusema hivi. Tuangalie spaces za vijana wenzetu. Vijana wengi hawana kazi. Wewe kama kijana, mimi kama kijana nikichaguliwa nikiingia pale, will I really represent the young people like me? Ama uko tu pale tu kupimia. Hiyo ndio mimi ningependa kusema. Asanteni sana. God bless you.
I don't know whether we first answer because we are running out of time. then thereafter we can continue with the question and answering. Yes. So now we'll just continue with the question and answering because we are running out of time. Wesley, you are asked specific questions.
Yeah.
One is that on the tribal balkanization, which was a question for all of us.
Yeah.
I think as you respond to that, there's a question that was asked specifically to you.
Yeah.
On party leadership, right?
Yeah. I think there are three questions.
There are
to
three
me.
questions.
I have them all well documented.
I don't know whether you can take 1 minute to answer these questions.
I'll take the shortest time possible.
We are 6 minutes late.
Yes.
We need to be done in the next 11 minutes.
I'll take the shortest time possible. So I'll start with Miss Sihuma. That's the name? Yes.
Sifon.
Okay, so the main question there was between selfishness and selflessness.
Yes.
And the way I see it, selflessness is ideally where we should be. My choice of word of selfishness is where we are. I do agree with you, and I will not run away from the fact that a lot of selfishness is what has brought us to the problem that we have today. But the reason why I keep insisting on young people being selfish towards advancing the narrative of young people, in spite of your different political persuasions, and I'll give a very simple example. In our party, we are told that we will be given nomination slots, directorship slots. Hizo vitu zote ni vitu tumenegotiate huko ndani. So it is my opinion that if PM can do the same, that the young people of PM can get the same, that's good for the young people in general. That is how I see selfishness. But the reason why self-awareness will not be applicable now is because we are still contending with a system that is like at 10% to change. We have to first of all get in. And I do agree that not everybody will go into political parties with political ambitions, but we have to understand what enemy we are fighting. The first point is to understand. And in understanding, I have come to realize that, yes, you have to be selfish and push your interests first. That is why you hear politics is about interests. But the question that people don't answer a lot is whose interests? So you find that we are all actors within the political space, but we are serving somebody's interests. I would like, as Miss Sifuma, yes? I have a friend called Sheila Sifuma in UDA. So as Miss Sifuma is very passionate on educational matters, and I am, and maybe she does not subscribe to my political party, I would like that in our selfish interest, we push that educational policy proposal in wherever capacity we will be. That is how I see selfishness. It is not an affront against self-awareness selflessness, but it is an acknowledgement of the enemy we are dealing with today. A question that was asked to me, asked as well by Diana, is reforms within political parties on the tribal balkanization. One thing that you need to know is that the reason why tribe is so easy to mobilize around is because it has been the most unique identifier since independence. The best way we can do that and change the narrative there is that we create new demographics. And I will lean back on selfishness. The reason why I keep on going back to selfishness is that we can create a new conglomerate of people, such as young people, that when it comes to matters of young people, we first vote as a conglomerate. If we are saying that we need parliament to have 50% young people, that's the first thing you do. So you look at a person who is coming to run for MP for the 4th time, na ako 70, kwanza huyo ni mtu ameshatoka kwa bracket yako. The best way to fight tribal balkanization is to create new demographics within political parties that we can reason on. Otherwise, it is very easy for somebody to say, that's why nilipeana example ya Sophie akifukuzwa kwa chama, anaweza tuita sisi party leaders wengine kwanza tuambie Caleb Amisi hatoki. You have to first of all give her a fair hearing. You cannot just ab initio tell her that, because that is the easiest way you see people do politics here. Ikifika ni kesho, huyu jamaa akikuja afukuzwe kwa chama, anaita watu wa Kajiado wa Masai, wanasema wa Masai tunapigwa na serikali. Si ni kweli? So we must do and create those demographics. And finally, I've been asked a question about my party leader about what changed. The realisticness of politics is, again, selfish interests, right? The truth of the matter is, we do have problems with how some of these leaders have been existing. This is not a problem unique to Rigathi Gachagua. You mentioned the Moi Kibakis, the William Rutos, the Kalonzo Musyokas. The unfortunate part is that is how the dynamic of politics looks like. And in your party, in the principles that you pursue in your party, you are the biggest pursuer of change as we speak. I am not going to say what has changed. I have told you, I am led by the pursuits of political and policy proposals. I am very passionate on education. I'm very passionate on children. And I know the only way I can do that. Having been in a party that has one MP, I know how hard it is to push policy proposals there. If I have 50 and I have 10 friendly MPs, I know my bill can get to parliament at a 10 months or 1 year. I think I'll leave the rest to the other panelists to answer.
I would want you to respond to the question that was asked about by Pascal. How does the political party bring about change? And it was around infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Now, when we talk about the political party bringing the development in the country and all that, how much ever is the political party cannot really, be part of the government or doesn't make it to the government or making the government, then bringing the infrastructures is through the policies. We have policies that have not been implemented still, and Kenya is really known of having very nice policies, coming up with very nice policies, but implementation is where now we draw the line. And for the political party to bring in the development in the country, it needs to at least push for the development itself, in terms of the infrastructures, in terms of any development that we need. It doesn't really mean of the infrastructure for real, but any development that we really need as a country to have. And through that also, as young people, you need to be part of that party to be able to voice out your needs and also your priorities, because then again, we will still say that the political party need to do this and this and this, but yet we really don't have that voice to be that and to say that for real, this is one of your priorities that you had in your manifestos, and we've seen that so far so good, you've not done anything. So that's one of the ways that you can be able to do as a political party. Another thing is to encourage the young people to be issue-based and not to be identity-based, because issue-based is what exactly is happening with you, the issues that you're facing. And the identity-based is that you want to benefit you yourself and you really don't want to care about whatever is going to happen. For instance, when we talk about the healthcare that is not favoring you right now, or to your rural area, you don't have the electricity, but you yourself in that political party, you just think about yourself. Oh, I want to have a Mercedes-Benz. I just want to have that leadership, because you felt like having or being part of the political party, you'll be able to get money. And yet you're not thinking of the issue-based. So it's really, really important to that. And maybe to add for the tribe, again, comparing the issue-based and the identity-based, the political parties should really look at what exactly is affecting the communities and not what they feel it's in their own circle or what should benefit them in terms of a different tribe and, sidelining themselves with a particular tribe or religion or, all the factors that they may look at it.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Mr. Gideon. I think there were questions that were asked across. One about the party leader. Does these political parties only hell-bently rely on the party leadership? Yes. Take it up in 1 minute.
Well, I have had such questions that were raised just before the panelists began to answer. And it looks like we are really tired about how the problem is as at now. And we know that this has been both a generic problem as well as a systemic problem. Because in the past, there were some groups that gathered before the colonialists were chased away or they exited the country. Like we had the Young Kikuyu Association led by Kinahari Tuku. There was another young Kavirondo. Yes, you see. So you remember well. So that is where the rain started beating us. You see. So the thing is, we have always been inheriting a very old school way of doing things, one that was pre-independence, and along the way, those who have served and continue to serve before us have conditioned their minds to just think along that pipeline.
Yes.
So the thing is this, what we need to do right now is that young people, I had my friend, he is a fellow political scientist. There is another person who is an educationist or many other sectors here represented.
Yes.
What can we do to gather ourselves around such sectors as young people, as young professionals?
Yes.
Number two, the reason for which we still seeing the kingpinship songs that we have is because those thieves that stood before us amassed a lot of wealth, they are wealthy, they control the resources, and it is the reason for which we are hell-bent and, dependent on them for direction and for leadership and for governance.
Thank you very
so
much.
When we, as young people, sit down,
yes,
drive in the private sector, it must not be that we win today, but the youth of tomorrow will benefit from that which we have done today, and that is doing, something to do with the private sector and young professionals.
Thank you, Banama Gideon. My good sister, the question was asked by a gentleman here that you come to a political party, you invest your money, then unawacho kwa mata. This is a young person who is having that fear. In 1 minute.
I wanted to donate my time to him to finish what he was saying. I felt like he was saying something very important.
Okay.
Thank you. But I think I brought something home. So the thing is this, let us organize within the academia. Let us organize ourselves within the private sector. We must not depend on them to throw us the peanuts, and they must not distribute the resources unfairly to us, because that is where we are failing. And the youth will always be frustrated. We will always go to the streets as they continue to dish out whatever they, and you see, they are even coming out with a lot of empowerment programs, both the opposition and the government. Women empowerment program, just dishing handouts. There is something we need to organize something like Kazi Mtaani, and that is a quick fix thing. And that is why we are saying that we will continue depending on that, party leader, who will continue to be tribal and continue to organize within the regional and county kingpins, who will always frustrate that young man. So
wonderful.
I think.
Thank you, Sam. You have a half a minute.
I just want mchukue tu kadi na tupige kura.
Thank you very much. Mr. Wesley, your parting shot. We might not get into questions. We are having our online website where somebody can just frame in the questions, and we'll still continue to engage. Because the time has run so much, we'll just have their parting shot. Then the conversation is continuing. It is not the end of conversation. Because, my friend, you are having such a burning question, it will be justice enough to give you. We'll have the only two of you. Yeah, the only I've been put in a hot soup.
Okay.
No worries. We will see how it will go.
Thank
half a minute.
Half a minute. Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. If I went back to Birika without asking the question that I want to ask, I would be sent back. And also, if I went back to Kawangware again, where I school, the Mama Mboga there will really complain on why I didn't ask these questions.
Now ask a question.
So my question, first of all, my question goes to you,
Wesley.
Wesley.
Yes.
I really need your wisdom in this. So I was conversing with a friend who's away in a country that is well established politically, right? And they have ideologies, and it's not even important who's going to be the candidate up there, because they know what the party stands for, they know the ideologies that they are going for. So when someone votes, they vote for the ideologies. So as a country, as Kenya, the Kenya that I want is a country that goes beyond individual politics and goes to the politics that is more idea-based, more having sort of these things that we call, it has standards in a way, okay? So how can we get, as Kenya, how can we move from the politics that we're having of 93 political parties that are advocating for these many things and have political parties that are more of idea-based? Can we conjoin and have political parties that are idea-based? Yes. The other question that I have is for the ladies in the panel, just quickly, because we have ladies here and I wish that they speak to this, because we have there's the two-third gender rule that we have, right? And in Kenya, it has never been actualized to the point that we have to get unconstitutional political seats for us to actualize the two-third gender rule. So how can we convince the ladies in the panel? How can we get to have women join political parties and vie and get to these seats so that we do not have to burden the common mwananchi to pay for extra salaries for these extra political seats? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we can have the two.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
My name is Margaret Waithegeni. I am the Global Outreach Officer for Politics for Her and also a member of DCP. We have had conversations about political parties, and the truth is these political parties influence each and every day's decisions. Political parties aggregate interest. Political parties prioritizes interest. Political parties build coalitions. Political parties influence decisions, especially when it comes to our national houses. So it is important for us to know that these institutions are not haziendi pahali, they are here with us. And as Sophie has said, it is important that we know that it is our time to actually infiltrate these political parties. If political parties are supposed to push the youth-driven reforms, therefore our reform should speak to the language that political parties prioritizes or listens to. Yeah. So and what do political parties listen to? They listen to power. They listen to numbers. They listen to loyalty. They also listen to the ability. They listen to the ability to win elections. So really, as much as we are talking as these institutions do not impact our lives, it's important for us to know how we can actually work within these systems. Yeah. And also, when it comes to nominations, I've heard some people talking about nominations. We have leaders in the ballot, but hata ile kitu tunafaa kuambia watu sahi ni uchukue kadi na bado ukue member of political party. Because at the ballot, we only get an opportunity to elect people who have been chosen for us. So it is also very, very important for us to go to those political parties and decide who will be at the ballot. Na pia tukipata ballot, at least kuna wale watu wenye wanaendanisha na values zetu. That is where we will at least elect leaders who listen to us, who will prioritize what we are saying. So what I'm saying is we must work within these systems and join political parties.
Thank you very much. We are having two brothers here.
And maybe before I give
Pascal,
them,
just donate.
there's one important thing.
You've spoken.
One second. the role of political parties in sponsoring candidates.
Okay.
Si wanaanza zungumzia hiyo wakileta hapo pia.
Huyo hiyo ni question yako. Nani Gideon?
Thank you very much.
Utazungumzia.
My
Although
name
you
is
had
Ruben.
spoken about it, but you'll speak about it yet.
My name is Ruben Ginina, and I'm an author. The question that everyone is asking today, or the concept is, which country do I want to be? The Kenya that I want. I want a country that when I demonstrate, the police will not come with a live bullet. Why should you come for a live bullet in a peaceful demonstration? Lastly, we are talking about political parties, vehicles to power. Do you own one? If you don't own a party, what are you telling others? If you don't have your own vehicle and you want to be comfortable in a matatu, from when? I once tried to complain in a matatu that we were sitting 4 of us. And I told him, no, this is 3 seats. He said, read that written note. It is written, ukitaka starehe, nunua yako. So we are coming here claiming and praying that this will infiltrate this political party. Whose political party? I own a car. Will you remind me to take my car to the service? Will you? I own a car. Ikagongwa ina taa. Utaweza kuja kuniambia tengeneza gari taa. It is my car. I will use my car how I want. So it is that high time youth should think outside of thinking of owning someone else's property. We have to own our own. If we don't, let us not complain. If we have to be slaves, we have to be slaves in those parties. Otherwise, all jobs, all nominations should be given on basis of competence and not tokenism. That is where youths are missing. Political parties are only institutions of democracy, but they are not owners of democracy. Article 1 of our constitution says that the power belongs to the people. So that should be our thinking. We should not think of joining other people's party.
Thank you.
I have my party. If I want my party to be ruled by a 70-year-old guy, will you determine? You didn't fund. I only want you for campaign reasons. The youth who are being promised today, you bring youth, they are being promised. You bring youth, we will give you this. This is a token, a 5 or 3 years token. So please, as we go and think otherwise, let us think of having our own youth's party.
Yes.
Nikipata umse ndio party leader, do you have a problem with that? Well,
thank you. Give him. Okay. So as we are responding, we're also going to have our parting shot because time is up. So Gideon, start by responding by the question of political parties sponsoring candidates for nominations.
Okay.
In 1 minute.
Well,
yes.
Normally before the elections happen, political parties demand that you register as a member of that political party, that you vie or you express your interest in vying using that political party. Then the first thing is, they are the first people who sieve what goes to IEBC. So that is where they first take you from the community, now presenting you to IEBC.
Yes.
So the thing is, what we need to have within the political parties is fairness.
Okay.
They have even gone, some strides backwards, or even deviating from that which is standard practice. They are now using what we call negotiated democracy to sponsor candidates. Yes, the negotiated democracy, where a group of elite people sit in a room and identify one candidate to forward to IEBC. And mind you, whoever has sponsored or is able to sponsor these gatherings, he is who runs with the ticket. How about a young man like this one?
Yes.
Kijana ako na power tu ile ya jina ya Pascal na nani? Na Wambua, hapo umetosha. Hana power ya resources, hana power ya huko connection ya kule mbele. So this political party has the powers to deny him the opportunity, and he could be the best of the candidates to represent the people. So we would love to have a fair nomination process,
yes,
where the most competent people, free of all the court cases,
yes,
free of all the corruption charges,
yes,
move forward for a better Kenya. So
Wonderful.
that is what we need to have, fairness within the political system, and merit should win.
Wonderful. As you respond to many other question in 1 minute and your parting shot.
All right.
Yes.
So for me, I would answer the question of the women or ladies who want to vie for the seats and how they should be, like, you know, to claim the seats that are there as women. So one is to believe in yourself, and I believe that leadership starts with you. So you'll need to maybe start working with your community, start having the policy conversation, be part of the party as well, and also participate fully. Through that, you can be able to have the confidence, and also you can be able to be not intimidated by anyone, and understanding whatever priority you have and the needs of your community and the society at all. So my parting shot is that I would say that youth are not really the leaders of tomorrow, but we're going to be the partners of the leaders that are today. Thank you.
Wonderful. Your parting shot in 30 seconds. Just say something. Thank you. Now, Wesley, as you respond, make it so clear to the people as you respond to the questions that if somebody does not join a political party, one, they should not even participate in a general elections. Make it so clear. And two, the political parties should be vehicles of reforms, not change per se. So thank you. Proceed. As you do your parting shot.
As I do my parting shot, I'll answer Bolton first. How do we move away from what we have today to ideals?
Yes.
We need more of us in these rooms. I've always said I am not a sycophantic loyalist. I am a very moderate loyalist. And the reason why I believe so is because I have principles that I believe in. Granted that those principles exist in a broken system, those principles still exist. The best way is, in your journey of political leadership, you said umetoka Birika na Kawangware. Whatever happens within the space of Birika and Kawangware, do not lose what you believe in because of the broken system. That's how we change ideologies. Because if they are talking about rebirth, and if I am talking about educational reforms, one day we will meet at the table when we are the actual decision makers, and those are the changes we can effect.
Wonderful.
To mention about what the moderator has asked me to talk about, someone once said that the biggest tragedy that can happen is that the intelligent and the knowledgeable are quiet and let those who are not intelligent and unknowledgeable make the decisions for them. The biggest majority of people who, in the 2022 elections, were people who did not vote. William Ruto had 7.2, Raila had 6.9, and there were 8.1 million people who did not vote. Those are the intelligent and the knowledgeable who chose to not make a decision. So the first point of contact is, one, know your political surroundings. Better for you if you're in a political party. Join a political party. And there's a question that has continuously been asked. What does a political party do for you after? Political parties are tools of oversight and legislative reform. So those are not things that happen in a day. If I want to push an educative proposal, it will not happen in 2028. It will happen in 2028, 2029, 2030. And that is how you use your political parties to make sure that they continuously oversight the things that they advocated for.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And engineer?
One more thing. Yeah. If you're interested and we can continue having conversations, please reach out on social media. Wesley Jeff on everywhere. And mkiwa na trainings na leadership conversations, please call me. I'm happy to engage.
Wonderful. Sorry? You want to say something? In 1 second.
In 1 second. I think we are done. So to the organizers, wenye waliandaa tumeshukuru. Tulikuwa tuna have a very healthy conversation. We had a very healthy conversation until my guy there, I don't remember his name. took a mic.
Engineer.
Oh, engineer. Until the engineer took a mic. So next time, in such a conversation, just give out the question, and maybe you can say it behind the bars. Because when you took the mic, mimi nilijam. How you addressed her. Until pia mimi nimeona pia amejam. Ujui ni wangapi wamejam hapa. So next time, I think you should check.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, we were not just campaigning. We were not just watching. We were not just participating, but we were learning how power works and how power influences change. And this conversation should go more and more, because it is upon us to educate our very many youths, very many parents, so that political parties are vehicles for reforms. I would give engineer to give a vote of thanks. He is a member of cohort of IRI Youth Advocacy. I'm so glad that we have come to an end. If I'm making an apology, if somebody infringed your shoe, I'm apologizing on his behalf. Forgive him. Na wache hiyo kwa juu yangu. And if you felt that conversation to some extent went astray, we are also apologizing, because we are youths. And sometimes this is the only platform where we talk about our issues. And some youths does not want to necessarily express themselves the way you'd want them to express them. So I think that is a common denominator that youths have. But the most important point is that we are moving forward with this conversation. Until next time, my name is Haya Dennis, your lovely moderator. Thank you very much.
Just coming, yeah, Sophia and Afani again. Okay, now, before I utter any word, allow me to welcome the Vice Chair wa cohort, Nedi. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. To our panelists and all the members here, good afternoon. My name is Nedi Kutsuru, and I want to first appreciate those who ensured that today was a success, starting from the organizers and also you who came here, because without you also this could not be a success. Then maybe in summary, I would just like to say that from our discussions, we've discussed a lot has been said. But we need to know, like, as young people, like for myself, I'm seeking for an elective leadership position. But now, me seeking that leadership position alone is not enough. I'm sure some of you also are seeking that for that leadership position. And again, not all of us will seek those leadership positions. How will we make, we are talking about reforms within the political parties, and not just reforms, but sustainable reforms. And how will this happen? Most of us as young people, we complain about the challenges that we are facing. We complain about the difficulties that we are going through based on the people we elected. We end up voting for wrong people because we are bitter. We just want change. We just want to change. But now right now we are talking about sustainable reforms. How will that happen? It will start by me and it will start by you. It will not happen with me alone. It's something that I have to do it, you have to do it. Let's say, as I just said, I'm vying for an elective position. And of course, I need to be in a party, because it has been clear that parties sponsor candidates. Because I'm just young. We've talked about resources. Where will these young people who are seeking elective posts get resources? We can get them through the parties. Let's get there big, the flag bearers, and we'll now support us. It is us young people ourselves who should support our own. If we cannot get into these parties and support our own, then we'll just be talking, then we'll not be implementing. So let's get into these parties, vote, because voting starts at the party nomination. We know we get it wrong where we say niko kadi and wait for the election day. But now you are going to vote for someone that was already decided. Why can't we start voting from the party levels, from the nomination? Because you want me as a leader, then you don't come to vote for me at the party nomination. Some people bring in goons or bringing those people, you understand? Then I end up missing getting on the ballot. So you see, you'll be missing out on those leaders that you want to vote for them will bring change. So let us try to talk to our young people, more of our people out there. We are online, I'm sure most people are watching. Let young people know that the importance of political parties, that political parties play important roles. Again, we talked about parliament. It's through political parties that our needs, the citizen needs, are being pushed. So if we don't occupy these political parties, that means a lot will be missed. We are the majority, we have numbers. We talk, we speak out loud, but now we'll be speaking out loud in the wrong avenues. And at the end of the day, we'll keep on losing. You saw what happened with the finance bill and many other things. We had all the energy and everything, but at the end of the day, we didn't achieve what we want. It trickles down to all these other things. So let's get into political parties and encourage our many young people to join political parties. Just as I said, it's not an initiative of one person, it's for very many people. That's why we have very many political parties in this country. My friend here talked of having your own car. You know very well, coming up with a political party is not something that will take one day, or it's not something that is easy. Of course, I don't discourage, but now why can't we start using what is there? We have a lot of parties. Let's occupy these parties and try creating the reforms within these parties that are there. You understand? Yeah, thank you.
Before you go, I wanted you to finalize by telling us as to why there was this conversation. I think some of us never understood as to why we came to this conversation. One, my brother, you've said that I think I took the conversation towards what we was not meant for. And I don't want to explain. Okay, tell us why we had this conversation.
Of course, we had this conversation just to come as young people to have a conversation and to get to understand the importance of political parties and how political parties can bring sustainable reforms. I think that's all, yeah.
Okay, and that is why I just wanted us to limit ourselves to the importance of political parties in bringing in these reforms. I didn't maybe stand up to shut down someone's political party. Sawa. Even as almost the first conversation tulikuwa nayo kama cohort, it was why youth wako nasema wako partyless, leaderless, and everything less. Sawa. Then from there, the second training was the importance of political parties. Sawa. Then kuna kitu wako nasema kwamba not you don't belong to a political party just to get power. No. Sometimes walisema unajiingiza kwa hizi political parties to do what? At least we get reasonable leaders. Sawa. Yes, not that maybe when I come here and I drum for political party X, namsadia yule mwingine. No, because people have been, watu wamekuwa na parties. Somebody mentioned here in 1942 kulikuwa na Kavirondo taxpayers. They have been there and everybody has been telling us to why people should join that Kavirondo. Sawa. Yes, and he was a member. Kwani ulizaliwa lini? So now, and that is why sasa as youth, ukitoka hapa we have that youth outside mwenye atakwambia mimi niko partyless. Sawa. And I miss out zile vitu zenye unajua the importance of having that party. Tumeelewana sasa. Just as I finalize, there was a time tulienda maandamano as somebody said, right? Tukaingia parliament, tukaonja mchele. But did we achieve what you were meant to do? No. Because hatuko tunajua the avenue ya kufanya nini? Ya ku bring that reform. The only avenue to bring that reform was the political party. As Sophia said here something good. Akasema nini? Chama itakupea hiyo position with respect to the seats that they have garnered wapi kwa general election. Are you together? Yes. So if I told that one is the way, so the only thing is for us to sensitize that youth outside who is still thinking that making noise outside the party is going to bring reform. But then you can shout outside there, you can be paid to be a goon. But kazi yako iteshe tu pale wapi? Kwa barabara. You won't bring the real change umesema. I can shout outside the same tunataka education, right? But nikisha shout, what will happen next? Two likes kwa TikTok, makofi 2 na some 200 naenda na kunywa busa na lala. But sitakuwa nimeleta that change. Umenielewa ndugu zangu? Yes, we want that real change. Leave alone hii mambo ya chama yangu iko na hii na hii. No. Somebody said that tunaweza fungua chama. As she has said, tutakuwa na vyama 50 million. No. I think that is the conversation yenye kwa tuko nayo. And this is just the second conversation. We have others are coming. Sawa. And let us run away from these emotions. Somebody ever said somewhere on TV that we should not be voting because of emotions. I can come and cry and hey, this guy is good. I can come with a t-shirt imeandikwa ya jina ya church. But that one does not mean that I'm a good person. Are you together? Yes. Just like they always say that going to church can never make you a believer, because if that is the way, when you sleep in the garage, you wake up one morning, you are a car. So umeona sasa? Yes, that is the candid conversation we need to have. Run away from emotions. Run away from what you said, kwetu. Run away from that analogy that as youth we have said. What have you said? Nothing. If you are not belonging to that political party, indeed, there is nothing that you can do. You just make noise at the end of the day, like yako 6 likes on TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, and the rest. But the real reforms belong to political parties. Last question, assume sisi wote tuko kwa political party. Kuna hizi viti za nomination, and all these youth, they wake up and nominate you. Are you together? Do you think you are going to parliament to make those stupid decisions that people always make? No, because you are enlightened. Somebody who has been living with corruption for 40 years can never imagine of living without that corruption. But for you, you are enlightened. You want to bring that reform. Sawa. So that one was the reason as to why we had this conversation. Just knowing the importance of these political parties. The role you have to play when you belong to that political parties, other than being a goon. We have other roles that we need to do it, to play. Sawa. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, before I forget, in short, we young people, we have a lot of energy. We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of vision. But where are we directing that to? Instead of us just putting that into waste, let's convert that, bring into political parties, and push those reforms within political parties. And I'm sure our Kenya will go to the right place, because you've listened from everyone. People are talking about the Kenya they want, but now we will get to that Kenya we want when we don't know the right procedures of getting there. Because the government has a way of responding to issues. It has a way of how things work. So you have to understand first that before you know how you can get to the Kenya we want. I think with that, I'll just appreciate all of you. And keep following us. I mean, the conversation is also online. You can even, I hope you guys have taken some selfies. There's been a photographer here. Again, I'll be sharing the photos. So you can post out there with the hashtag the Kenya you want to participate. And I'm sure, let's keep the conversation going. Let it not end here. Let's keep, acha tukutane huku nje kwa mtandao. Sawa? Okay.
Thank you very much. Reverend Pascal, pray for us. Pray for us.
Praise God. Amen. Hallelujah. Let's pray. Jehovah God, thank you for this day that you have given the young people of Kajiado and the entire country to gather here to discuss matters of our country pertaining political parties, leadership, the development we want, and the Kenya we want, Father. In our discussion, we have seen your hand. We have seen wisdom from the panelists, from the members who have shared their ideas, Father. As we progress, Lord, give us the same wisdom, knowledge, and power to overcome the challenges we are facing as a nation and as a people. In Jesus' name we pray, trust, and believe. Amen. Wale majamaa tulifanya ile kitu, si tupatane hapa, kuna kadogo tumemalizia. Rono, Valerie, hiyo ni si ya kila mtu.
Tumeuona mkono